For many seniors, it's not illness that takes away independence. It's a single fall, one slip in the bathroom, one stumble in the garden, and life changes in an instant. But here's the hopeful news. A simple walking trick, proven in new studies, is helping older adults cut their fall risk by almost half. And it only takes 10 careful steps to begin. Every 11 seconds, another senior is rushed to the ER because of a fall. Beyond the bruises or broken bones, it's the quiet loss of confidence that hurts most. The fear of walking across the kitchen floor or stepping outside alone. I've seen that fear up close in my patients. But science tells us falls are not inevitable. In fact, one heel-to-toe routine, practiced just a few times a week, can retrain your balance system in weeks and protect your independence for years. 1. The cerebellum connection. When you walk, something remarkable happens behind the scenes. Deep in your brain sits the cerebellum. Think of it as your body's built-in GPS for balance. Every step you take, it recalculates, correcting tiny shifts in your muscles so you stay upright. But here's the challenge. After 60, this balance computer slows down. The signal between your brain and legs isn't as sharp as it used to be. That's why a stumble on uneven ground can feel more dangerous now than it did 20 years ago. Here's the hopeful part. Heel-to-toe walking, placing your heel directly in front of your opposite toes, acts like a software update for your cerebellum. It forces that balance computer to work harder, strengthening the timing of your muscle contractions with every step. In 2021, a study published in the Journal of Nursing Practice tested this on adults over 65. Just 2 weeks of heel-to-toe walking 3 times a week cut their fall risk significantly. P equals 0.003. Even more encouraging, the participants reported they felt more independent in daily activities. So, how do you start? Keep it simple. 10 heel-to-toe steps in a straight line, 2 to 3 times per week. As you grow steadier, extend to 20 steps. For safety, begin near a wall or countertop, arms slightly out, and keep your eyes forward instead of looking down. Rosa, one of my patients, is 72. After tripping in her garden, she stopped walking outside altogether. We began with heel-to-toe walking in her hallway. Within 3 weeks, she told me with a smile, I walked down the garden path again without fear. But Rosa's story doesn't end there, because what she discovered next about her ankles surprised her even more. 2. Proprioception power. Have you ever walked in the dark and suddenly felt unsure where your feet were? That awareness of your joints and muscles in space, that's proprioception. Think of it like the antennae your ankles use to tell your brain where you are. But here's the challenge. After 80, those antennae get weaker. The messages your ankles send become fuzzy, which means your brain has less accurate information to keep you steady. That's one reason older adults often need to look down at their feet instead of trusting their body's signals. Now the good news. Heel-to-toe walking specifically trains those ankle sensors. Each careful step activates the tiny receptors in your calf muscles and feet, sharpening the signals back to your brain. It's like replacing a blurry radio connection with a clear channel. A 2024 meta-analysis in PubMed looked at over 1,300 older adults. The researchers found walking interventions produced large improvements in endurance and moderate improvements in quality of life. The takeaway? Even basic walking patterns, done consistently, reawaken the body's natural balance systems. Here's how to apply it. Stand near a wall or countertop for safety. Extend your arms slightly. Focus your eyes forward and walk heel to toe in a straight line. Aim for 3 to 6 meters at a time. Over weeks, those ankle antennae will start firing more reliably. Frank, 74, told me, for the first time in years, I didn't need to watch my feet while walking to the mailbox. That small shift gave him back confidence and the freedom to look up and enjoy his neighborhood again. Do you ever feel your legs get heavier when walking uphill? If so, type YES in the comments. It helps remind others they're not alone, and here's where it gets even more powerful. Because your inner ear, the gyroscope inside your head, plays its own role in balance, and it can be retrained too. Third, vestibular system rejuvenation. Imagine a gyroscope inside your head, quietly spinning to keep your world steady. That's your vestibular system, tiny sensors in your inner ear that detect motion and position. But as we age, this gyroscope slows down. The signals take longer to reach the brain, so it often doesn't realize you're tipping until it's too late. That's why many seniors describe the world as wobbly, especially when turning quickly or walking on uneven ground. Here's where it gets fascinating. When you practice heel-to-toe walking, you're not just training your legs, you're winding that gyroscope back up. Each deliberate step reactivates the inner ear sensors, sharpening their ability to detect motion. And what happens inside the cells is even more surprising. The mitochondria, the little batteries in those balance cells, begin firing more efficiently. They respond to challenge, almost as if the body is saying, "Oh, we still need this skill." And slowly, stability returns. In 2024, researchers writing in Nature Scientific Reports confirmed this link. Older adults with weaker vestibular function had more body sway, but targeted walking practice reduced that sway and restored steadiness. The routine is simple. Walk heel to toe for 3 to 6 meters, arms slightly out, 2 or 3 times a week. Move slowly, eyes forward. Over time, you'll notice the difference. The world no longer feels like it's tilting beneath you. Helen, who's 80, once avoided church aisles because of dizziness. After weeks of heel-to-toe practice, she walked back in without a cane. She told me, "For the first time in years, I felt steady enough to sing again." But here's the real turning point. Balance isn't only about the inner ear. It's also about the communication lines between your brain and muscles. And that's where the biggest upgrade happens next. 4. Corticospinal pathway. Boost. Think of the connection between your brain and your muscles like an internet line. When you're young, it's high speed, instant. By the time you're in your 70s, it can start feeling more like dial-up, sluggish, delayed, sometimes cutting out when you need it most. That's where heel-to-toe walking comes in. Each precise step strengthens the corticospinal pathway, the nerve highway carrying commands from your brain down to your legs. The more you practice, the faster those messages travel, almost as if you've upgraded your system back to broadband. A 2025 study in the Physical Therapy Journal followed more than 300 adults over 70. The results? Those who practice structured walking drills reduce their fall risk by 44% in just 6 months. That's not just a number. That's the difference between staying active and ending up in rehab. Here's a simple way to build this into your week. Set aside 10 minutes 3 times weekly. Walk heel to toe slowly, then pause, reset, and go again. Think of it as sending a stronger signal down those nerve lines each time. Consistency, not intensity, is what rewires the pathway. George, 69, told me his grandson once said, "Grandpa, you don't wobble anymore." That moment wasn't just about balance. It was about dignity, about being able to keep up with family without fear. And here's the catch. Miss this step, and the rest of your balance training won't reach its full potential. Because if the signal line stays weak, the body can't respond fast enough when you stumble. But when that signal is sharp, everything changes. And the final piece we need to tackle is one of the biggest myths about aging, the idea that falls are just inevitable. Your balance isn't gone. It's simply waiting to be retrained. Every careful heel-to-toe step you take isn't just exercise. It's a quiet declaration that you're still in charge of your independence. I've seen it in Rosa, who found the courage to walk her garden path again. I've seen it in Helen, who returned to church without fear of dizziness. And in George, whose grandson noticed the change before he did. Each story reminds us strength doesn't end with age, it's rediscovered in small, steady steps. So, let me ask you, when was the last time you walked without fear? Pause for a moment and share it in the comments. Your story might be the encouragement another senior needs tonight. If Rose's or Frank's story touched you, think about a friend or family member who's been worried about falling. Share this video with them. Sometimes hope only takes one conversation to spread. And if you're ready for more science-backed ways to stay steady, strong, and independent, don't forget to subscribe to Healthy Aging Hub. This community is here to remind you you are not alone, and your best years can still be steady ones.